Cooking Fresh with Roxanne. This is a special broadcast because this particular broadcast is going to be dedicated to my lovely mother-in-law, Walla Gray, who lives in Kirkland, Washington. She asked me to do this video because she was so in love, I guess you could say, with the coleslaw that I made for her when I visited her a couple weeks ago in Kirkland, Washington. I think the thing she liked the most was the apples. Yeah, there you go. Apples. I use apples. That's a half a cup. And a heaping third of a cup of Walla Walla sweet onions in the Walla Walla, Washington area, Washington State. Vidalia sweets. There's also Hawaiian Maui sweets. Things like that. Wonderful. I'll show you how I make the dressing too. And I keep it really simple. Really simple. I don't overdo it with a lot of extra ingredients like powdered onion powder or garlic powder, any of that. Just keep it real clean and neat and yummy. So, let's get started. As I said before, we have a heaping third of a cup of onions to a half a cup of apples. That's already looking delicious. So now what we're going to do, I don't know if it's going to be a full 2 cups of, it looks kind of more like it's going to want about 2.5 to 3 cups of, and I've got a little red, just for the antioxidants, for entertainment purposes only. But antioxidants are good for us. They help us to, you know, stay healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the bowl that we're using, stick it right underneath the shredder. I love this shredder, by the way. Take a look at this. There you go. I've had that thing for about 5 years since I moved here to where I'm at. It came with me, and it works quite nicely. These things like shred cabbage. The consistency I prefer, it's kind of like shredded coconut. And this really does that good. Now, I'm going to make it look silly. I'm not feeding it in properly, so we got to adjust it a little bit. It happens. Adjustments have to be made. Remember how I'm always saying, you mess it up the first time, just wait. 4 more hours, you get to do it again. Make it food about every 4 hours over the next day. Alright, makes sense? Problem solved. There we go. It's coming out nicely. Stuff that gets stuck at the end. Do not stick your fingers in here like I'm doing. You can cut them. Bad idea. Alright. Let's cut another hunk, and this time let's make it a little bit easier to feed. There. Fits in perfectly. More perfectly fits in to feed. Now again, I'm going to try that red cabbage there. Red cabbage has a bit more of a cabbagey taste. So it's going to pick up the flavor of the apple and make it a sweeter experience for the dish. I don't know anybody that hates that, do you? I don't. I really don't. You guys were there. Hey, Mom. You guys were there for the chicken liver with tangy tomato sauce, or tangy onion sauce. You were there for that. You remember what I said about the sweet and the tart coming together, the sweet and the tangy coming together, and just really making your dishes light up. Now, another thing I did with that liver, I found that more vinegar is good with the liver. So I highly recommend when you do that dish, if you have like the ability to put a side on, or put like the olive oil and the red wine vinegar on the table, tell people they can use it like a dressing on the liver, because it really does help bring even more of that flavor up. It's so good. Really is good. You gotta trust me on this. Trust me. Red cabbage here. Put a little color in it. And antioxidant. Roxanne, really? This one's okay. Come on. It's gotta be just the right fit. Here we go. Come on. Don't do this at home, kids. Okay. Don't struggle with your cabbage. Oh, there it goes. And you see the after effect. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, Lord. It's worth a little struggle. And that's just about everything you need right there. You can barely get the spoon in. Toss it up. That's great. Let me put all that aside. And now, mix it up a little bit. Really kind of simple. And when we mix this, alright, from the bottom to the top, like I'm always saying, from the bottom to the top. From the bottom to the top. So go underneath. Get the apples and onion, bring it to the top. Apples and onion, bring it to the top. Keep your clean fingers in there and kind of mix it all together. Maybe should I use a larger bowl? Don't worry about that though. The stuff gets eaten by just my husband and I. This much coleslaw might last us 2 days, if that, because it's so good. And we like things that are good for us, that taste good. I mean, truly, eating healthy shouldn't taste yucky. It shouldn't taste yucky. It should taste delicious, and this does. Now let's move on. This is very impromptu. Mrs. Gray, believe it or not, this is kind of how I do it. As I said, Himalayan pink salt and cracked black pepper. You want roughly about a half a teaspoon, maybe a quarter, give or take, you know. And here's another thing. Taste it. Taste it as you go. I'm not your taste bud expert. You may like it a little less vinegar, a little bit more. So that's roughly half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon of pink salt. And this is as much cracked black pepper as I can get out. I need to get another one. Oh, there we go. Probably about a quarter of a teaspoon. So half a teaspoon salt, quarter teaspoon pepper. Maybe a little less on the salt because some people don't like that much salt. And that's fine too. I don't discriminate against anyone for any reason. We're all human, and we like things to taste the way we like them. And that's why I do this Cooking Fresh show, so you can learn to do these dishes and begin to flavor them your way and not have to spend money with DoorDash or Grubhub. And then those people have to come to your door because you got this one. You got this one. It's easy. Okay. Here's roughly about a teaspoon and a half of sugar. I'd say 2. I'm using organic, raw cane sugar. And very important, as far as I'm concerned, I'm using apple cider vinegar. This is Bragg's. They say things like, it's got the mother in it. For entertainment purposes only. What is the mother? As far as I know, the mother is the starter for it. I don't know, but it's a wonderful flavor up against the sugar. So I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon. Let's see what that looks like. Come on over here. I'm not sure. What is it I'm not sure about? Well, I'm not sure about the tanginess up against the sugar. That's my first run. My first try here is 1 tablespoon. I think it's going to need more. So let's get our little spoon in there. It's not bad actually. Okay. So, in that case, let's put about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more, of mayonnaise. And see how that starts to thicken up. Not with a spoon, with a fork. You can't work with a spoon. It's a Nip and My Gosh recipe. Again. But that, again, is why I do these things. I want you to put your stamp on it. Make it yours. Make it your own. Let's get a real quick flavor on it. Okay. It needs a bit more sugar. Just a skosh, my mama would say. So we got 2 teaspoons of sugar already. Let's put about 1/4. Yep. Now, I need it to mix up a little bit more. Immersion blender. Immersion blender. Barely ever use this. It comes in handy in times like this. And it only takes a second. Literally a second. So, very carefully. Oh, it doesn't fit. Okay, so what do we do? We put it in when it does fit it. Good old quart-size jar. Quart-size jar. Hopefully this works. It's really small, but unplug, clean off. Let's clean fingers. Looks yummy. Get the spatula. Because you don't have that many ingredients in here, you don't want to waste a drop. If you wanted more dressing on this, you can put more. Just double the ingredients. Make it 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 4 teaspoons of sugar, all of that. Now, bottom to the top again. Bottom to the top. I don't typically put a ton of the dressing in it because by the next day it turns into a soupy mess. It's the salt. The salt begins to break down the cabbage, and so it pulls the water out of it. So again, I really don't want too much dressing on it. That was probably, let's see, 1 tablespoon, teaspoons, about 2 tablespoons. So that was probably about 2.5 tablespoons of liquid. Now, oh, take a look at this. Good Lord. Excuse me. Spoon. Okay, Mrs. Gray, this one's for you. Oh man. Oh. Those sweet apples. And the Walla Walla onions. Oh my god. And the red cabbage really kind of gives it a more fresh, rustic almost flavor. Because it's kind of a bit more cabbagey. This is a great recipe. Serve it with a steak. That's what we're having tonight, ribeyes. And you're going to see that demonstration here coming up with our garlic medallions that we taught way back a couple of years ago. Excuse me. Vinegar's getting me. Anyway, cooking fresh with Roxanne. You know what? Again, fresh idea. Easy. Pretty easy. Pretty tasty and healthy for you too. Have a great day, and thank you again for watching Cooking Fresh with Roxanne. Remember, like, share, and subscribe here and on YouTube and on Instagram, as well as you here on TikTok. Hey, you guys, thank you so much. Roxanne here, signing out.